Hey, my friends. So, this is hilarious. My phone doesn't know what to do with me being upside down. I am hanging off the edge of my bed. There's my charger cable down there. But I'm hanging off the edge of my bed for a reason. All right. So, if you're catching this live in Limey and Crunchy, welcome. Great to see you on here. Happy end of August. If you're catching this on YouTube, you're going to want to like and subscribe right now because I'm getting all red in the face just for you. Hi, Megan. Good to see you on here. Hey, so let me tell you why I'm upside down. It actually is for a health-related reason. And I feel like this information could benefit you too. If you've been following along with some of my live videos, I haven't done a ton about this. I maybe only did one other video earlier. But it was about... I've been talking a little bit about, at least in that case, my spinal health and how I had also done a blog post previously about it too. If you prefer to see it in writing, check out my blog, adelcole.com/blog. Very simple. But my spinal health is something I've been addressing lately through a chiropractor and other methods as well. But chiropractic is known for helping with that, right? And my chiropractor is an awesome, awesome woman who noticed on my routine evaluation, she does periodic evaluations of all her patients. And on my latest, my cervical spine, which that refers to your neck, basically, the spine area of my neck is still very restricted or not curving the way it ought to be, which was a major problem for me when I first started seeing her. And not that it's not improving, but it is an area of resistance in my body. And so my chiropractor shared with me some of her thoughts about how she felt led to tell me this, and that maybe it was a deeper issue than just a physical situation. So part of what I'm doing to address it, because of course I believe that it is a purposeful observation. I believe there's meaning behind it, and I believe it is information that I'm privy to so that I can do better for myself, for my own health, physically, mentally, and emotionally. I think it's all related. And I think some of it has to do with just resting back, laying my head back in life, figuratively, not literally, but maybe, and just lifting up my head to see how far I've come, to see where, our family has been in survival mode for a long time, health-wise and otherwise. And we've come so far. We're not in survival mode anymore. Not right now. And I'm grateful for that. And I think a lot of it has to do with some of that perspective, but also, I don't know all the answers. I don't know exactly what's going on, but I am here to cover my bases in the simplest ways possible. And here's what I can do about it to address physical, mental, and emotional aspects that could be manifesting in a more restricted area of my spine, okay? That is stubborn and not budging easily. I'm not just going to ignore it because it's clearly my body talking and telling me something. So one thing that I'm doing is these cervical spine exercises, and that's why I'm upside down. I am stretching my neck over the side of my bed here. And at first, when I first started doing this, it was very uncomfortable. And it's actually an exercise my chiropractor recommends doing. And she gave me a whole handout on proper ways to do it and how long, because there is a proper way to go about performing this regularly without overtaxing your body, because it can be a big deal to your body. So I'm going to actually be wrapping up here and I will sit up. But the other things I'm doing besides just cervical spine stretching, when my hair's woo, is also utilizing my essential oils in a very specific way. And I wanted to talk about that because I don't know if all of you know about how to do this or have heard of doing this, but this is something that I also can help with in my coaching. And that's why I mention it, because I have the resources here to guide, suggest, it's not a prescriptive thing. but to guide and make suggestions for how to utilize essential oils to help your body. My roller here of oils also has some crystals in it. This was a gift from a friend. It didn't have a label with exactly what crystals are in here, but it almost looks like amethyst or ruby or garnet even. It kind of looks dark reddish to me, but I know that could be a number of things. Either way, crystals, rocks, nature in general, which these rocks are a piece of, and the oils are too a part of nature, can totally influence your healing and kind of the frequency and the cellular health that you're dealing with. So I like that combination of oils and crystals here. I'm not a guru in that realm, but I do know that there's something to it and can definitely make a difference. And even if it doesn't, what's it going to hurt? It's pretty, it's fun, and it's a little jingly. And then I know this roller, without even having a label on it, this roller is my neck roller. What did I put in here? Well, here's what I did. It was a little bit of a process, but like I said, this is something I've done numerous times, and you can do too, or I can help walk you through it. And it can be really enlightening. I'm going to make a little pile here of what I used. I'm going to turn my phone around for you and show you my process here. Ready? Here we go. All right. You are literally sitting in bed with me as we look at my process. I just used my planner as my bulletin board. I'm really referring to these notes I took, and then this was a little summary of the roller ball I made. So I primarily used this book, Releasing Emotional Patterns with Essential Oils by Carolyn Mine. I got this off of Amazon. Sorry about my fan. I'm sure that's making people dizzy. I didn't even think about that. But anyway, I have like a whole bunch of notes I printed. But this whole book I have talked about before in my coaching and in other, like my coaching program, if you've done that with me, and also in some other videos here and there. And I've talked, and I will never stop talking about it. So you will find it other places. But this book talks about using essential oils applied to specific body points as a way to release emotional patterns. Typically what we would refer to maybe as negative emotional patterns, but it can, this book explains how emotional patterns apply in a variety of ways in our body, okay? So for example, you can see some of what I was looking at in my own body. I'm not going to give you like the whole synopsis of this book because it's very self-explanatory should you be interested in it. But what I came in here to do is they have tons of these like appendices and charts, which list both body parts and oils and emotions in different ways to help you find what you're looking for. So I went in looking for body parts because I knew my spine was what was affected. So here is your C2, that's your cervical 2 spine. That's right up at the top of your neck. Spinal cord was in here. Actually the tendon alarm point, they call them the alarm points. The tendon alarm point on your body is actually in your neck area. So I was looking through this particular chart, like appendix for, whatever applied to my neck area, anything that could apply. C1, okay, cerebral spinal fluid, that is the fluid in your spinal system and brain, your whole neurological system that coats it and flows through it. Your CNS and lymph, that's also central nervous system and your lymphatic system. These things were all kind of what I was associating with that area of my body. I also utilized, hang on, she does talk about like muscle testing too in this book, but I also utilize, let me get to it, these charts here of the body, and I utilize like the alarm points along the neck here. So I circled some of them. So what they would associate with might be spinal cord C1, higher will and will on that side, and filter tendon and soul on that side. So I used those as well to help guide me. And basically I just looked at the biggest picture I could create for my neck area. And I went through then and looked at each of those things, the filter thing, which goes through your neck area, the alarm point, not thing, the higher will one at your C3 spine in your neck. I looked at that. So anyway, I went through this chart and I looked at all of those areas. And then I also looked at what oil was recommended for that alarm point. This is Peace and Calming Blend, for example, to go with higher will. And then what the related emotion release would be, indecisiveness for that particular one, let's say. Let's go back here to C1. Forgiveness oil blend or tea tree, melaleuca, can be versions of tea tree. So forgiveness blend, tea tree blend, oil, those would have to do with your self-denial or disempowerment emotions and releasing those. So I took this information, okay, from this book, and I mapped it out based on the alarm point. So back of neck, C1, filter alarm point, higher will, soul, tendon, will, CSF, and lymph, spinal cord, release oil specifically I looked at. Sorry, that was separate. I like release oil blend and peppermint oil. So this particular page, I looked specifically at oil blends on that Post-it note. So I kind of did the opposite. I looked at oil blends that I thought I might like to use for releasing my neck tension, and then what that oil in this book corresponded with. So I went to a different chart. Let me see if I can quickly find it. Nope, that's not it. Whoops. Going too far, too fast. Oh, I think I just went right through it. Soul, liver. No. Did I miss it? These are all the emotions. You can start with your emotion and look at then the opposite of it, the affirmation, the way out of it, or the affirmation out of it, and the oil to apply and where. And then you can go look at the body maps and find out where that alarm point might be to apply. Okay, there definitely is a chart. Why did I not find it? Oh my gosh. Of course. I know I have it marked, but it's hard when you're doing it through a phone lens. There's definitely a chart of the oils themselves. And, oh, there, here. So when I look up, like, release oil starts here, and it tells you, like, I like a release blend. I was thinking maybe releasing my neck tension and maybe using release oil. So the emotions that release can help with are these, and then it even goes up here more. And then where to apply for each emotion would be here. So I noticed that one of the application points was actually the trachea, which is the front of the neck where you swallow, like your throat area. And it made me wonder, like, is this, related to holding back universal flow and applying to my trachea? And then I looked here for release to see if any of it correlated with the neck. And, oh, I'm so sorry. Eye-brain connection would be on the occiput, which is the very bottom of your skull, right where your neck, your spine kind of connects to your skull. So that was interesting to me. Sorry about the phone situation. But anyway, just another piece of this puzzle is that I can look at the oils I might be interested in using or curious about and figure out if that correlates as well. So that is kind of what I did right here with this particular piece of paper. But I mapped out some thoughts about oils I could use and what emotion it might counteract. And then I went and I made this roller. So I ended up using a little bit different than here, but I ended up using Purification because it actually has the lemongrass in it and tea tree in it from some of these other suggestions. Like I kept seeing tea tree coming up and lemongrass coming up. And I think there was another place where there's lemon. Anyway, I just felt like, and here's Purification itself. So tea tree, Purification, and lemongrass are all covered. Purification oil includes tea tree and lemongrass in the blend. So I figured, okay, I'm going to definitely put Purification in, and I'm going to cover myself for disempowerment feelings, for, feelings of, recognition issues, feelings of should issues. Don't should on yourself, guys. Some other oils I wanted to use was white angelica for feelings of weakness, for strengthening. Also, white angelica is especially protective. It's kind of like putting on your shield or your armor. Sacred Mountain, I love. That's a blend of a variety of tree oils that came up here in the soul, the C2 area, for complete self. So you can see I just put together a little, I wanted to use German chamomile. I realized I don't have it, but that's for disassociation feelings in that same area in the C2 region, the back of your neck. Didn't have German chamomile, so I went with lemon for fear and sadness. Lemon's always great. And I definitely put release in because I wanted to address conditional love and agenda and holding back issues, should that be what is my concern. I ended up throwing cedarwood in for feelings of incompletion, and copaiba, which is great for inflammation and battling lies in the spinal cord area. And I think that was it. I think I topped it off with that. Oh, I probably, this is Peace and Calming, PMC, Peace and Calming. I probably threw a little of that in because that's a lovely oil too. So I kind of did a little blend. I did not have like cassia. There were a couple I didn't have on hand, but well, there you go. You just got to see my mess of a desk, but that's life right now. I just put a few drops of each thing in here. It's not like an exact science. In fact, it's just designed to be simple and easy and supportive of my body. That sounds like a lot of oils, and it is, but I really wanted maximum support to my spinal area. Since I didn't know exactly what I was targeting here, I could probably make some educated guesses, and that's what I tried to do with the oils I put in here, but it smells amazing. It's covering my bases, and what I'm doing even above and beyond this is I'm using this as an opportunity for whatever you want to call it, using affirmations or mantras or prayer to kind of bring this whole experience full circle. So as I apply this to my neck and go to do my cervical spine stretching exercises, I will say, typically the affirmations I say are like, they're kind of like really, to me, prayers. I will say, Lord, help me to release and relax whatever this part of my body is holding on to. I relax back into you, restore optimal function to my spine. That's the gist of what I pray over myself and over my experience as I use these oils and do my exercises and do all the physical things I can do to cover my whole body health. This is holistic health to me. Body, mind, and spirit, emotions, mental health, all of it is being addressed. It's not like it's a magic bullet, fix all your problems kind of a thing, but it's a chipping away and recognizing, it's chipping away at what's going on and recognizing that your body is speaking to you. Like I said in the beginning, that's where this all starts. Your body is telling you something in the physical manifestations you're experiencing, as well as the emotional and mental and spiritual too. But in my case, something physical in my neck is manifesting an underlying need for me to look up. And that's the other thing I say to myself kind of in prayer and affirmation world, is I will also say, I choose to look up. Sometimes that's all I say. I choose to look up, because that is the stretching out of my particularly restricted area, you know? I choose to look up. I choose to be restored. This, ironically, the theme of my year this year, 2021, back in December, January, I announced that it was going to be the year of restoration for me after some other years of other things. And it's really funny. Not funny. Always in divine timing. But it is really cool that it is all coming together and I'm being restored, and the areas that need restoration are being made known to me. And so that is my prayer to all of you, and my wish for all of you as well, that you will be open and aware of what areas need restored in your own health and healing and well-being for the next step of your journey. So this is where I'm at with my spine situation and why I'm upside down today and a few times a day, every day. And I hope that this blessed you and gave you some thoughts to think. There's so much more to this. Like I said, if you want to dive into this book with me, if you want more information on customizing something for your healing in this kind of light with oils, with affirmations, and with understanding the connection that emotions have in our physical body, let's set up a coaching session. I'll make sure that link is here for you, so that you can take it to the next step. And it will just take a little time for us to sit down and, work through it. But I have been studying this book for years. I've done courses about this book and classes, and I'm happy to use it for you and your well-being too, because it is that simple. It's mapping out some answers potentially for you, or at least something that's not going to hurt to try, right? It might just be the ticket for you too. I'm already feeling huge differences in how my neck feels, so I'm really excited to see my next follow-up, which actually my next x-rays and stuff with my chiropractor are not going to be for a while, not till I think next spring. So hopefully I'll be on top of that and give you an update next year. But I can tell you what I'm feeling in my spine in the last it's been about 2 weeks that I've been doing this, and not even that consistently. I'm trying to be better now. I choose to be better. But every little bit does make a difference, because I'm already physically feeling different, and I'm lighter too. I am less burdened for sure We just ran across some craziness in a storm we had here yesterday, craziness around our house, in our neighborhood, even just trying to get home in the middle of it with my kids in the car, my husband getting stuck at work and not being able to get home. It was just a thunderstorm, but like the worst I've ever seen in my entire life. And I've always lived in this area. It was some kind of crazy. Trees down. I mean, like, it was scary. It was scary, crazy. That was the biggest test of my level of stress and burden right now, where I would have gotten through that normally, but it would have been way more heavy on me to get through something that stressful, like just home alone with the kids, like no backup, no hubby backup, you know, no one, not know all the unknowns, getting water in our basement, getting, you know, trees down around us, limbs falling. All of it was just a lot at a busy time of the evening. Kids are hungry. I'm trying to make dinner, trying to assess the damage, trying to, you know, make sure my husband's safe getting home. We had to detour ourselves getting home twice because of trees down and car accidents in front of us. It was very just like stress, right? That is my biggest example, most recently, within the last 24 hours, in fact, of how I didn't have this roller on me. I didn't have time to do my exercises on my neck in the middle of it all, but I felt no burden. I felt normal to low amounts of stress, I would say. Nothing like I would have normally felt. I feel like I am being uplifted. And the only thing I've made a big change in is this regimen in my life. So you guys, something about, I don't know exactly which point on my Post-it notes I've targeted specifically, but it doesn't really matter in the end. Rather than making it a big chore, I made it easy. I put a bunch in, I targeted the best I could, what I could, and you have to just go from there. Better done than perfect. Better to try something and do your best at it with what you have than to stress. I didn't have all the oils I even wanted on hand. I thought I had one or two more that I wanted to use, didn't have them, couldn't find them, whatever, fine. They weren't meant to be. This was meant to be, and my life was meant to change for the better in the last 2 weeks in this exact way. Imagine what you could do for yours. Don't forget, you're worth it. You're worth investigating what is next on your healing agenda, and it might just be lifting up your head and looking at how far you've come and where you're at and enjoying the view. Don't forget, that matters too. All right, you guys, till next time. It was great to be with you. Again, if you're catching this replay on YouTube, get over in Limey and Crunchy so you see all my live videos, because there are extra ones there that you will miss just being on YouTube. And also, and the link for Limey and Crunchy is in the comments of YouTube, or in the description on YouTube. And also, like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss notifications, or everything just gets lost in the shuffle, and then you won't ever miss me doing a live video upside down again. Talk to you later.